Hello and welcome back to the Eye on the Storm BRAWLNIGHTER Invitational. I am Gillyweed SC2 and joining me for this cast is Anna. Hello, Anna.
Hey guys, thank you for your patience. We fixed a few things on the overlay. This is our first time doing an invitational tournament on our own on this channel, so we appreciate all your feedback and your patience, and we're having a great time with you. We're going to stay up late and party, and so far we've had one game between 2ARK and Cognitive Gaming.
Yes, and we also fixed the overlay, but they did switch sides on me, so I was not able to put the colors, but at least we have teams on the sides, so next time I'll put the colors in as well. But we already have started the picks, so let's hop over to that as well, as it does look like we're going to be on Shire, and again we've got Asmodan being banned, but Lost Viking is going to be banned by Cognitive.
Yes, but you know who is still here is Kerrigan and Tassadar on the side of Cognitive, so really excited to see her back. And we already have Johanna and Jaina, the J ladies, for 2ARK.
We do. Blondes as well. If they would pick up Sylvanas, that would be pretty, I mean, just continue on with the blonde trend as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let's see. Oh, go ahead.
We've seen some great Team Blondes before.
Mm-hmm.
Kael'thas, though, not going to join Team Blonde. He's going to hang out on Cognitive Gaming. So
yes,
that's looking pretty scary. We saw how scary Kael'thas on Cognitive could be. Kael'thas Cognitive could be, especially with Kerrigan. Kerrigan Kael'thas on Cognitive.
I'm interested to hear 2ARK deciding to ban Brightwing instead of an Uther, who would be, I mean, we've talked about Divine Shield into that Kerrigan before, and Kerrigan, of course, very, very good on this battleground because there are a lot of areas where you can definitely make good ganks happen, and then, of course, having some stuns on top of that is really key to that. So Uther provides that as well as good sustainability for Kerrigan when she's in that Maelstrom form, but choosing instead to ban the Brightwing. Now Cognitive has a ban of their own, and looking at Johanna and Jaina, what do you think we might see for them to try to deny from 2ARK?
Well, I think that the Brightwing is a clue. I think that 2ARK is looking to pick up someone that the Brightwing could be a counter to. So I feel like Cognitive is going to look to grab someone that 2ARK could be planning that would not be a good match for Brightwing, if that makes sense.
A clue, like Illidan or Zeratul as well. So they were thinking about it for a while. They decided to go ahead and ban the Zeratul. I do want to point out that we do have 2ARK picking up a warrior this time. So more of a standard composition. They've also grabbed Uther on top of that now. So they are going to just counterpick the Uther. So that's why we didn't see that ban. They wanted him for themselves. And now they've got one more pick here. Could still maybe see that Illidan as another good melee assassin who would really benefit from the Divine Shield. But as we saw in the last game, 2ARK kind of liking that Divine Storm instead.
Yeah, that's true. I have to wonder, though, if 2ARK had gone with the Divine Shield, how that would have changed the last game, whether this game may look a lot different than last game with what they're going to be picking. I mean, Johanna obviously has tons of escapability, tons of sustainability, so she doesn't need to be supported as hard as someone who is not a tank, like what 2ARK has been playing so far. So it could go either way, but they are going to choose to pick up Sylvanas, so not that Illidan, unfortunately, but fortunately for them, Sylvanas can do a lot in terms of pushing lanes, which is going to be important here, as well as she can stop structures from firing on the Dragon Knight once 2ARK does manage to pick up a Dragon Knight. So she's going to be really valuable in making pushes count with this battleground mechanic.
Man, I was so surprised to see Sylvanas so late in the pick that I kind of just inherently thought that she had been banned or something.
Right.
But yeah, she's really great at stopping structures from attacking the Dragon Knight. She's also really great when you pick up a Dragon Knight because you can have the Dragon Knight pushing one lane and then take Sylvanas and the rest of the heroes and push another lane. And you really split your opponents in what to try to defend. But Cognitive do have that Kael'thas. They've shown how good they are with that Kael'thas. They've also got Muradin and Malfurion, so really great heals, as well as the fact that they have Tassadar on top of it too. So they've got a great amount of sustainability and a good front line with stuns from that Muradin to go along and complement the Kerrigan. But look who 2ARK grabbed.
Yeah, I made a little bit of a face when I saw that. I was surprised. Why do you think they picked out Nova?
Well, I mean, Kael'thas was such a problem for them last time, and if they can take him out, limit the amount of gathering power stacks that he picks up, that would be pretty nice for them, as there at least will put some fear for flanking and the possibility of, like, okay, where is the Nova going to be? What are we going to have to do to try to avoid her? So that might make them play a little bit more passively as well. And you can really capitalize on that, as 2ARC do have a good possibility for pushing lanes with the Sylvanas, even with the Jaina and Johanna as well.
Absolutely. And of course, Dragon Shire, if you aren't familiar with the map, there are going to be 2 shrines at the top and bottom of the map that these teams are going to look to be capturing. If they do manage to capture both of those shrines and hold them for themselves, they have the opportunity to pick up the Dragon Knight. The Dragon Knight is a suit, as Gilly and I kind of like to call it, that your hero can put on, and then you have extra abilities that really lend themselves toward pushing lanes. And this is kind of a smaller map as well, not quite as small as Tomb of the Spider Queen, but one that doesn't take a lot of distance moving, and also one that's very straightforward, so it doesn't rely quite as much on the type of vision mechanics that we would see on something like Tomb of the Spider Queen or even Sky Temple.
That is true, although vision will be nice at least, as we talked about. As 2ARC could possibly look to run ganks of their own. They do have the Jaina and Uther. They've got the possibility, even Johanna too, of being able to condemn, pull people in, stun on top of that, and then while all of that's going on, using Jaina's abilities to slow them down and deal a ton of damage. So the vision will at least be nice in that regard, even though, like you mentioned, it's not nearly as groundbreaking as having it on that Tomb of the Spider Queen. Looks like our players are ready.
Let's do this. So
let's do this indeed.
2ARC looking to redeem themselves in this game too. Of course, this is a best of 3, and just to remind you what's going on, this is a 4-team invitational tournament. We're showing you all the games, 3 best of 3s. This one is 2ARC versus Cognitive. So this could potentially be the final game in this particular matchup, Gilly.
It could, and it would be crazy to see a 2-0 here. And of course, we want as many games as possible for us and for you guys too. So we're going to be secretly rooting just slightly for 2ARC here so that we can always get to game 3. And speaking of 2ARC, they are in the blue this time. Our teams have switched colors on us, and they will be playing Uther, it's Chubsy, Panucci on Johanna, Fury's D playing Sylvanas, Suki on Jaina, and playing Nova is Traitor.
And for Cognitive Gaming, wearing red, we see Iacona playing Malfurion, Hospital will take Kael'thas, Psylol will be on Murden, Glaurung will be playing Kerrigan, and Shot will be on Tassadar.
I love these players dancing around for our entertainment before we get started, and now we will see a lot of players heading in toward the mid. This is fairly standard. We saw it even on the last Battleground as well. Panucci very brazen with that condemn. Does not pick anybody up yet, though. Now Glaurung's going to go in, but not quite grabbing anybody yet with that Primal Grasp. Now Silo's going to have to get away, taking some damage here, and got to be careful there, as even though he's a warrior, he's not super tanky here in the early game.
I like the attitudes of both of these teams. I think aggressive games are really fun to watch, and I like that both these teams tend to take a little bit of a risk in a lot of cases. Sometimes it can be very detrimental to their health, but I appreciate it. It's really great games to watch, well, game to watch so far, and I'm hoping we'll see a lot of aggression in this game as well.
Yeah, both teams have that potential, right? Like, they both have good potential for gang squads, and I think we'll see them moving around, especially between the mid and bottom a lot. We often see that anyway from team members. They always set up here, try to get ganks in this sort of triangle area as well. And so now, those trading blows back and forth, but we've got the shrines activating very soon, Anna.
Yeah, this map is characterized by a lot of that back and forth, kind of the metronome action. Ooh, Hospital with the condemn from Panucci actually is going to get taken out of position and will go down. That was really great. I've actually been meaning to mention how much I love condemn. I think it's one of my favorite abilities in the game because it's like surprisingly important. It's such a tiny little pull, but it makes such a big difference.
Yes, definitely, and that made all the difference as they were able to take out Kael'thas. I think that's what we're going to be seeing them trying to do all game, is just not deal with the Kael'thas of last game. Never let it get to that point. And now we're even seeing Glaurung and Shot come under fire here. Glaurung going to ravage to her death and go down, but Nova does go down as well. So very important there that Cognitive have picked up a takedown of their own.
Absolutely, and we We have Furious D, who's going to grab for 2-arc the shrine here at the top. And it looks like we have Chubsy looking to grab the shrine here at the bottom. So 2-arc may be able to get a Dragon Knight early in the game if Panucci can grab it in the middle. But I'm going to doubt that's going to happen considering that Psylocke, Glaron, and Hospital are all upon poor Johanna. Will she be able to get out with her unstoppable trait? No, she will not. She is going to fall down. But the blue lasers are still shining bright. The opportunity is still there.
The laning's actually cracking me up. We've got support versus support in bottom, which is hilarious. And then up top, we've got the two sort of pushers, as we do have Promote from Tassadar, as well as that Sylvanas, of course. So looking at the talents, by the way, well, we've got maybe a sliver of chance. Actually, we don't, as Trader's taking some damage from Glaron, but shelling it out just as much too. And now it will be Nova who's going to be taken out there, as will Jaina, but Glaron very, very low, will get taken out once again by that Condemn, and now Shot's got to be on the run. Hospital trying to body block as much as he can and doing a fantastic job of it. Furious D going to use those Banshees, but will it be to his death? He's going to go down, and Shot was able to escape.
Man, that was a very bloody game of leapfrog, as like one after the other team members arrived as reinforcements. And that was, you know, fairly even trading.
Your grandma's leapfrog.
Fairly even trading, but it does come out on top for our friends Cognitive, as they have 5 kills.
Yeah, they do, and they're slightly ahead in experience too, and once they pick up those level 7 talents, they might be able to make something happen, but Iacona in a bit of trouble here, body blocking from Chudzy coming in. Not quite enough though to pick him up, and meanwhile, up top, Furious D taking a ton of damage. Will he be able to well in time? He will. Oh, he will not, actually. Something important to remember there, of course, is there was Envenom on that Sylvanas from the Kerrigan. Looking at Envenom, by the way, 3 Envenoms on the side of 2-arc. That's a lot of very quick damage.
Well, I guess they're compensating for the fact that they really enjoy playing without a tank, so they're going to make sure that all of their damage is dealt quite aggressively, I suppose. We do see an Envenom also on the side of Cognitive, but only 1.
Yes, a more standard amount of Envenoms, I would say, from that Kerrigan. But that one Envenom really did pay off. Psylocke going in, trying to Stormbolt Furious D, who kind of just like happened to walk out of it. It's kind of like one of those fortunate accident type things. Maybe it was just...
I meant to do that. I meant to do that.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. All right, we've got level 7s from both sides. A couple of interesting talents picked up. I did want to point out Ice Lance. Cooldown of Frostbolt reduced by 2 seconds if it impacts a chilled target. Something we hardly... we never see on Jaina. It's always one of those frostbitten talents at the chill talents at level 7.
So really wanting to make sure that cooldowns are kept at a minimum, wanting to be able to keep those abilities up. Very interesting.
Yeah, and going to be able to have those skill shots, maybe trying to capitalize on top of the... oh my goodness, everyone going down. Capitalize on top of the snipe from Sylvanas as well. So they've got 2 really good kind of like high damage dealing skill shots there. Now, Furious D is on the chase for Silo, who's going to be able to dwarf toss away. Looks like we've got 2 down on the side of Cognitive, only 1 down, and now back up for 2-arc. But Cognitive still has the experience lead, almost level 10, and they had both of the shrines. So if 2-arc wanted to make something happen there, trying to pick up the Dragon Knight, the window is over. They've got to get heroics now before they can really engage.
These games, these early Dragon Knight games are interesting because in a lot of ways the Dragon Knight is not as much of a mechanic as it is a dictation of where the skirmishes are going to happen. Because as you can see, and we actually have a skirmish happening down here in the bottom, Trader getting very low, trying to run away, but Nova will fall. Looks like Glaurung is going to get a pull on Chubsy as well. His teammates will join him and will take down Uther. Uther going to look for someone to heal in his ghost form, but he can't because nobody's there. Poor lonely Uther. And that bottom shrine will go now to Cognitive. But as I was saying, the metronome effect of this map, teams just looking to deny shrines, not necessarily to use the battleground mechanic this early in the game.
Ooh, Precision Strike goes down. Not really going to deal too much damage, though, and Jaina will go down as a fantastic grab on her. And now, I like that we're seeing Cognitive not trying to immediately just leave this lane. They instead went for structures, opened it up, so if they do get the Dragon Knight later on, which is a possibility now, then they'll have an open lane to the fort, which is something that they can really capitalize in lots of different circumstances. But now they've got to hold this, right? Furious D getting very low will be the recipient of the Divine Shield, which means Chubbs may go down here and will do so, but Furious D and Trader will narrowly escape. Meanwhile, Panucci trying to stop Shot from picking up this Dragon Knight, as it's really just a 1v1 around this Dragon Knight shrine.
Yeah, and that's, it looks like we will see a Cognitive Dragon Knight here at 7.5 minutes into the game. And we will see how Cognitive chooses to support that. Remember that there are lots of ways. Maybe you want to hang out with the Dragon Knight to make sure that it doesn't take too much damage. Maybe you want to split the attention of your opposing team. Looks like maybe some indecision from Cognitive, and now they're going to join the Dragon Knight as it looks like he turns his attention... Nope, just going to hang out in the mid lane. Yep.
I think maybe they're trying to bait someone out, judging by the very forward positions from Cylon Hospital, but instead, Suki and Trader coming along a different way. Hospital taking a lot of damage, and he is the focus of these attacks, but he's standing underneath the wings of Malfurion. So a lot of good focus forward fire, but it didn't really pay off as Hospital's still alive, and now Sylvanas is down, as is Suki. Hospital will be taken out, so they reset the Gathering Power stacks at least, but they've paid for it with 3 lives.
Yeah, and now Shot, still in the Dragon Knight suit, is able to do a little bit more pushing as only Chub Z is there to defend and not looking too anxious to put himself in harm's way, as we see the rest of Cognitive waiting just around the bend.
Alright, well, while we have a quick break in the action, I did want to mention the heroics that both teams picked up. Tranquility, Phoenix, Avatar, Maelstrom, and, of course, the Archon coming out from Tassadar on Cognitive. 2ARC picking up Wailing Arrow, the Precision Strike, which we've seen quite a bit, as well as the Water Elemental Blessed Shield and Divine Shield. So the shield combination from 2ARC.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Blessed Shield for Johanna in terms of her heroic, and the fact that there's a stun on that as well as some bouncing damage is really coming in useful.
Both teams taking this time to merc up, as 2ARC does not really want to engage here. They're down a talent here. And so they're going to just choose to instead be able to pick up these bottom bruisers, which is a little bit nice for them, as those are kind of a neutral mercenary camp. But most of the mercenary camps otherwise did go the way of Cognitive, as they did have a person advantage and, of course, like we mentioned before, kind of the more map presence with those level 13 talents, which is what we'll see 2ARC now trying to rotate around in lanes to pick up.
Yeah, and we see actually a push of bruisers happening here in the top lane, mentioning that mercenaries have been taken by Cognitive. There is a strong lean on the map toward Cognitive pushing very hard against 2ARC here. And we actually see in the levels that's reflected as well. Level 15 already for Cognitive, while 2ARC is at level 12.
Yeah, Cognitive is going to have a huge window where they're 16 and their opponents are not. And that's going to be very nice for them to try to maybe pick up a Dragon Knight, to push in lanes, as long as they are all up and don't lose in a team fight, as they are on the same talent tier now, but Uther so quickly getting taken out. Really great baiting into the bush. Now a great gravity lapse going down on Panucci, who's trying to get away. He is pretty tanky, and Flame Strike will go down, but won't be able to take him out just yet. But meanwhile, Nova has gone down, as has Tassadar, and they're still trying to chase down Panucci, but now they will be able to take out that Johanna. And now, with level 16 just around the bend, it looks like they will throw a lot of damage on that fort, but they're going to set their sights on the Dragon Knight.
Knowledge of the battlegrounds can be so helpful, as we saw in that little bottleneck with the grass down there at that lane. We had Maelstrom and Phoenix go down to the point where teams could not move through there without taking lots and lots of damage, and that was a huge part of what brought Cognitive out ahead.
Alright, well, we're definitely going to have a Dragon Knight here that will go completely uncontested. We still have Sylvanas, who just went down for 22 more seconds. So although we have 13 talents for 2ARC, Cognitive has picked up 16, and of course we see that Ignite. So much damage going to be coming out from Kael'thas. We also have a Blood for Blood as well, and that's going to deal a lot of very targeted damage too from Kerrigan. So now this is a bit of a tough spot for 2ARC. They're going to have to wait, bide their time, try to defend what they can. But they've still got 2 levels until they have 16 talents of their own mana.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, because what 2ARC really wants to make happen here, they will not be able to, because they are again caught in a scary little choke. Glaurung leaping to try to get another kill, but is going to be shrunken before able to do that. Hospital really just wailing on this bottom lane. But like you said, Gilly, 2ARC really wants to make something happen in somewhere that Cognitive is not paying attention to. But unfortunately, wherever Cognitive is paying attention to is in dire need of being defended. So right now, Cognitive is calling the shots, and 2ARC doesn't have the opportunity to do much creatively on this map, other than make sure that Cognitive doesn't just blow their way through their base.
Yeah, they've got some good potential for poke. I mean, they've got Suki on that Jaina, and they've got Furious D, who did... he threw out Wailing Arrow just as you said the Dragonite was wailing on the structures. I was like, brilliant! It's like he knew. Exactly. But unfortunately, they still have a long way to go, and they've got to be really careful when trying to push out lanes, because they can easily get caught out of position, and with somebody like Glaurung with that Kerrigan, that's so quickly turned against you, because if you get caught out of position, you're going to be taken down because you're going to be stunned for days.
Glaurung on that Mechano Spider, by the way, making Kerrigan kind of look like Zagara. It's a very nice Zerg pairing. I compliment you on your mount choice there, Glaurung.
Excellent choice. Furious D was laning up here trying to get experience for his team, but got the heck out of dodge when he saw the rest of the team on their way up. And now this means another fort down, most likely. The final fort for 2ARC, as they also, they'll be down to keeps. Important note here while mentioning structures is that all of the structures are still up for Cognitive. They still have towers in front of their forts.
I mean, what we've really seen here is a dominating presence from the beginning from Cognitive. So what that makes me think is look back at the draft, Gilly. Where are we seeing the weakness from 2ARC? Because we know they really like to play that no tank, make somebody else our tank kind of composition. They apparently felt like they needed a tank this time, and it's not really working for them the way I'm sure they would like.
You know, they were so close all the way into 10, and then I think there was just one engagement there that Cognitive was able to capitalize on so fully. But they're not out of this yet. They haven't lost any keeps, and now they are on the same talent tiers, and obviously they're trying to make something happen right here, as they do have the potential for a lot more damage. Lots of area of effect. Once again, Maelstrom and the Phoenix in the same area just melts Johanna down. She's the first one who will be taken down. Chubsy very low. It's going to be trying to get out, dropping a stun on shot on his way out as well. And Jaina will get taken out too, and there goes Sylvana. So everyone's still very, very healthy for Cognitive here, as the next Dragon Shrine phase has been activated too. So now look, Cognitive's got mercenary pushes in both top and bottom. They're grabbing shrines right away. They're going to also have the Dragon Knight, and for about 30 seconds, 2ARC won't have everyone up to defend.
Yeah, everything on this map is red, and that's not a great position for 2ARC. They only have 2 members up. Those 2 members are going to have to devote all of their efforts to protecting the base, and even that will likely not be enough, as we have a Dragon Knight now approaching the bottom as well.
Yes, it's on his way. They really want to pick up a keep here. That will be Catapult pushing in their favor. Somebody got the boot. It was Chubbs. And now everyone is up from 2ARC. They are able to get in here and defend, but they're defending versus the level 20 team, and they've only got 16. So you're going to come around on the side here and try to make something happen here. Throwing out is Frostbolt. There is a precision strike, only really going to hit Silo on the Dragon, though. That's not exactly what you want. And now poor Glaurung, though, is stuck between Chubbs and Furious D, but dealt a ton of damage while stuck in there, and has taken out Nova. Uther also is down. Looks like Valfurion may get caught out, is going to get a snowball from the water elemental and take it out too. So this is good. 2ARC is taking out some people, although, not so great. Taking a flame strike right to the face. This may be it. We may be seeing Silaw Hospital and Shop push for 4 here.
So definitely some heroes who can do some damage, and they are free to do it as long as they please, at least for another 15 or so seconds until the first member of 2ARC resurrects. I think it might be enough, Gilly.
That flame strike hurt my heart.
It was so sad. There was a moment of hope for 2ARC, and then it was burnt to cinders.
It was burnt to cinders, but Chubbs and Trader are up. Silaw Hospital shot, deciding that it is not worth their lives to try to take down that core. They've got it to 25%, and there's a catapult. Still just nicely throwing rocks at it as well. So they've done a ton of damage. They've still got plenty of time to make something happen. They're still 2 levels up in their opponents. They're all up and healthy as well. And they're going to back off, get ready to pick up some more mercs, and just continue this constant pressure.
Well, this does give some room to Tuark to now grab mercenaries on their side of the map, which have been in the hands of their opponents lately, which is something they do not want to let happen again. So the siege camp will be contested here. Glaurung, though, going really deep behind Suki. Suki now is going to be in the middle of a surprise engagement, but Tuark actually getting a position that pulls Cognitive out of their traditional tight formation. Malfurion is going to have Tranquility, but it's only going to heal Silo, but will that be enough? Looks like 4 members of Tuark already down, and it looks like time is short as well for Johanna.
Yeah, I mean, Panucci's after Kerrigan, and everyone else is just running to core. They know that there's not very much left. It's at 20%, and they've just got to get through the shields as well. And there are so many people left. Immediately, Shot goes into Archon mode. He's prepared to move on to our finals, and we do have GGs coming out from Tuark. That'll be it. We have Cognitive as our first team to get through the semis.
Wow, a strong and convincing performance from them. Well played, of course, by Tuark as well. Both of these teams giving us a great show. And that will be, as you said, the first team to come into our finals. So congratulations, Cognitive.
Exactly right. Just a really great dominant play from the beginning, like you mentioned. The teams were very, very close into the mid game, but then from there, we just saw it really skyrocket into Cognitive's control. They were able to take some really good team fights that got them ahead in talent tiers, and then they got so far ahead, especially I want to mention that time between 13 and 16, when they were 16 and their opponents were 13. That was so much time that they could be all over the map, picking up those merc camps, being very aggressive, looking for ganks, taking out structures whenever they could as well, and that was a really great play by them, the awareness of just how much time they had to be aggressive on the map.
Absolutely, and they now are guaranteed at least $200 of our $700 prize pool, so they know that they're going home with some cash in their pockets, which has got to feel good.
Yes, that does indeed. It must feel good as well. So we are going to take a quick break, guys, and then when we come back, we will have our next semi-final, if you will. We're going to have Team Zevron playing against the heroes of the dorm winning team, Cal Berkeley, who I guess we haven't seen since the Mayhem Begins event. Am I correct, Anna?
Yeah, I think that's the last time I saw them play together, so we'll see how they come out of their hiatus, if you will.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to it.
I am as well, guys. We're going to take a short break. We'll play some more Heroes music, and when we come back, more games. See you soon.